They thought they could mold you, shape you, twist you into something they could use. They saw your kindness, your patience, your loyalty, and they mistook it for weakness. How foolish. How tragic. They thought they were the architects, the sculptors of your fate, but they forgot something important. You are not clay. Not some fragile thing waiting to be formed by unworthy hands. You are fire. You are steel. And they will learn. They will learn what it means to cross someone who does not break, someone who does not bend, someone who does not crumble into dust just because the world thought they should. You gave them chances, didn't you? You handed them the rope, thinking maybe they'd pull you up, but they didn't. No, they used it to tie you down, to watch you struggle, to test how much weight your spirit could hold before it snapped. But you did not snap. They don't realize what happens when you push a good person too far. They think you'll just keep smiling, keep nodding, keep taking it. They believe their absence will undo you, that you will shrink without them, that the echoes of their betrayal will hollow you out from the inside. But they don't understand, do they? They don't understand what kind of monster they have created in their absence. They don't understand that you have not been broken, you have been reforged. See, that's the thing about people like you. The ones who give and give and give. The ones who love so loudly, it shakes the very foundation of those who don't know how to receive it. People like you don't just disappear. You do not fade into the background. You become something else, something sharper, something no one sees coming until it is too late. And when they turn around, when they finally realize what they lost, you won't be there anymore. You will be gone, far beyond their reach, a ghost of what they once took for granted. It's funny, isn't it? How people only see value in something once they no longer have access to it. How they cry over doors they slam shut with their own hands. How they mourn something they never even bothered to protect. They will miss you. Not because they loved you, not because they cared, but because they lost their favorite game piece. Because they lost the comfort of knowing you were always there. They won't grieve your absence. They will grieve their own loss, their own stupidity, their own short-sightedness. And you, oh, you will not care. Because that is your power. You are done waiting for apologies that will never come. Done making excuses for those who knew exactly what they were doing. Done pretending that love is enough to change people who do not want to change. You will not waste another breath explaining yourself to the ones who chose to misunderstand you. You will not beg. You will not plead. You will not crawl back to the places that left you bleeding. You will rise. And they will watch. Oh, how they will watch. 'Cause they always do, don't they? They pretend they don't care, pretend they've moved on, pretend your absence is nothing more than a passing inconvenience. But deep down, they are waiting, watching, hoping that maybe, just maybe, you will come back. That maybe they will get another chance to step on you, to drain you, to take without ever giving. But that version of you is dead. Buried beneath every betrayal, every false promise, every moment of doubt they planted in your mind like seeds. And what grew from that? Not regret, not bitterness. No, something much, much worse. Understanding, awareness, the realization that you never needed them, that you were whole all along, that you were always more than the reflection they painted for you in their own insecurities. Now they will feel it. The absence of your presence, the silence where your name once stood, the void where you once poured all of your light. They will try to replace you, of course. Try to fill that space with empty laughter, with shallow affection, with meaningless distractions. But nothing will fit, because you were irreplaceable. And now they will learn what it feels like to lose something they can never get back. They thought they were the ones with power. They thought they held all the cards. But what they failed to see is that the real power is not in holding on, it's in letting go. It's in walking away without looking back. It's in being the lesson they never recover from. And you are that lesson. So don't mourn what's gone. Don't waste another second searching for explanations that won't change a thing. The past is written, carved into the bones of history, unchangeable, untouchable. But the future is yours, unwritten, unclaimed. And this time, you are the author. No more waiting, no more hoping, no more giving to those who never deserved you. The world has been cruel to you, yes. It has taken from you, wounded you, left you gasping for air in moments where you thought you'd drown. But here you are, here, still breathing, still standing. That is proof enough, isn't it? Proof that you were never weak. Proof that you were always meant for something more. And now you take it. Now you build it. Now you become everything they swore you couldn't be. Because that is the greatest revenge of all. Not anger. Not retaliation. Not destruction. The real revenge is indifference. It is looking past them like they never even existed. It is rising so high that their names become nothing more than whispers in the wind. It is knowing deep in your bones that they were nothing but a stepping stone on your path to greatness. They thought they could break you. They should have known better. But they never do they? They walk through life thinking they are untouchable, that the things they break stay broken, that the people they discard stay discarded. They believe that just because they got away with it before, they will get away with it again. That the universe is some kind of rigged game where their selfishness goes unchecked, where their betrayals carry no weight, where consequences are just myths meant for lesser beings. But you and I both know the truth. The truth is, the world does not forget. The truth is, time is not kind to those who take without giving, who destroy without thought, who laugh while others drown. No, time has a way of circling back, of balancing the scales when you least expect it. And when that moment comes, when the weight of their choices catches up to them, when the ground cracks beneath their feet, when they wake up one day and realize they are alone in a sea of their own, making they will think of you. Not because they miss you, not because they regret what they did. No, they will think of you because they will need you, and you will be nowhere to be found. You see, that's the part they never prepared for. They built their kingdom on sand, thinking it was stone. They crafted their stories with lies, thinking they would last. They moved through life believing they could burn every bridge and still find their way back. But now they stand in the ashes, looking for a path that no longer exists. You are not there anymore. And that is what will haunt them. Not the fights, not the words left unsaid, not even the memories of what once was. No, what will haunt them is the knowledge that they could have had something real, something rare, something irreplaceable, and they threw it away with their own hands. And you will not mourn them. You will not waste another breath on people who only valued you when it was too late. You will not let them crawl back into your life, dripping with regret, begging for the warmth they so carelessly discarded. Because you know better now. You know that people do not change not in the ways that matter. You know that their apologies are nothing but empty words, that their sorrow is nothing but the consequence of their own mistakes. They are not sorry for what they did. They are sorry that they can no longer do it to you. And that is where you win. Not in their suffering, not in their regret, not in the hollow apologies they will whisper when the silence becomes too much for them to bear. No, you win in your absence, in your refusal to let them back in your ability to move forward without a single glance behind you. Because here's the thing, they needed you more than you ever needed them. They needed your kindness, your patience, your unwavering presence. They needed the comfort of knowing that no matter how many times they failed you, you would still be there, but not anymore. That door is closed, and they will learn what it means to be on the other side. They will learn what it feels like to knock and hear nothing but silence. They will learn what it means to be the one left behind, to be the one who is no longer needed, no longer wanted, no longer thought of. And that is the price they pay. Not because you wanted revenge, not because you sought to hurt them the way they hurt you. No. The price they pay is simply the cost of their own actions. A cost they never considered. A price they never expected to pay. But here they are, paying it anyway. And you are free. Free from the weight of their betrayal. Free from the cycle of disappointment. Free from the endless waiting for them to finally be what you needed them to be. Because now you see it clearly, don't you? They were never capable of giving you what you deserved. And now, finally, you have stopped asking them to. And now, finally, you have stopped asking them to. stopped waiting, stopped hoping, stopped giving them space in your mind they never earned. You see it now, don't you? How you were never the one lacking, how you were never the problem, how they, small, empty, afraid, projected their own flaws onto you because it was easier than facing themselves. And that's what this was always about. It was never about you. It was about them, their fears, their insecurities, their inability to love, to value, to hold on to something real without trying to break it first. They saw you bright, powerful, whole, and it terrified them. Because deep down they knew they could never meet you where you stood. So instead they tried to pull you down to their level. And for a while, maybe they succeeded. For a while, maybe they had you questioning yourself, doubting your worth, blaming yourself for things that were never yours to carry. They had you believing you weren't enough, that if you were just a little more forgiving, a little more patient, a little less you, then maybe they would have stayed. Maybe they would have chosen you, but you see it now. They never left because you were too much. They left because they were never enough. And that is a burden they will carry for the rest of their lives. Because here's the truth, the world is not kind to those who take without giving. It is not gentle to those who destroy good things and walk away unscathed. It may take time, it may take years, but the weight of their actions will always, always come back to them. And you will not be there when it does. You will not be there to offer them comfort when the emptiness becomes unbearable. You will not be there to pick up the pieces when they finally understand what they threw away. You will not be there to remind them of what love felt like, what loyalty tasted like, what it meant to have someone who truly, truly saw them and stayed. You will be too far gone, too busy building, too busy thriving, too busy becoming everything they swore you could never be. And that is where the real justice lies. Not in their pain, not in their regret, not in the hollow way they will try to reach for you when they realize they are drowning. The real justice is in the fact that by the time they wake up, by the time they are ready to face the truth, you will be long, long gone. And they will have to live with the knowledge that they lost you forever. That's the part they never considered, isn't it? That their actions had consequences beyond the moment, that the bridges they burned wouldn't magically rebuild themselves when they were ready to cross back over. That you wouldn't just sit there, frozen in time, waiting for them to return. They thought you'd always be there. They thought you'd always forgive. They thought they could come and go as they pleased, treating your loyalty like an open-ended invitation. And for a while, maybe they were right, but not anymore. See, that's the thing about people like you. You give chances, more than you should, more than they deserve. You believe in people. You see the best in them, even when they show you the worst. You hold on longer than most because you know what it's like to be left behind, and you never wanted to be the reason someone else felt that. But even you have limits. Even you have a breaking point. And once you reach it once, you decide that enough is enough. There is no going back. Because when you walk away, you don't leave a door open. You don't leave cracks in the foundation, gaps they can slip through when they decide they miss the way you made them feel. No. When you walk away, you burn it down. You reduce it to ash. You make damn sure that there is nothing left to return to. And that is what they will never forgive you for. Not for leaving, but for making it permanent, for showing them that they never had control over you in the first place, that they were never as important as they believed, that you were always capable of standing on your own, of surviving without them, of thriving despite them, and that will eat them alive. Because people like them don't handle consequences well. They move through life thinking they are untouchable, that their mistakes will be wiped away by time, that their betrayals will be forgotten once enough distance has passed. But you are not a forgotten thing. You are not a passing memory, not a face that fades into the background. You are the one they will remember, the one they will compare everyone else to, the one who will haunt them in ways they will never admit. And that is not your burden to carry. You owe them nothing, not your time, not your forgiveness, not even your hatred, because hatred is still an anchor. Hatred is still a connection. Hatred still gives them space in your mind, and they do not deserve that. So you let it go. Not for them, not to be the bigger person, not because they deserve peace, but because you do. You deserve to move forward without dragging their ghost behind you. You deserve to fill the space they left with something better, something real, something worthy of you. You deserve to be free. And you are. They just haven't realized it yet. But they will. Oh, they will. And when that day comes, when they look around and realize that they have lost access to you forever, there will be no greater punishment. Because nothing is more terrifying to a person who took you for granted than realizing you are gone. For good. That's the part they'll struggle with the most. The permanence. The finality. They'll go through the motions at first, pretending it doesn't bother them, pretending they don't care. They'll act like your absence is just a temporary shift, like you're nothing more than a phase they've outgrown. They'll laugh a little louder, post a little more, surround themselves with distractions in a desperate attempt to convince themselves that they don't feel it. But you and I both know they do, because silence is the loudest consequence of all. And your silence, that will be deafening. At first they won't notice it. People like them never do. They are too busy moving forward, chasing something new, someone new, always reaching for the next thing that makes them feel important. But time has a funny way of making things clear. And one day, maybe weeks from now, maybe months, maybe years, they'll wake up and feel it. That emptiness, that void where you used to be. They'll try to ignore it. They'll tell themselves it doesn't matter. but it will creep in anyway, slipping through the cracks, poisoning their thoughts. They'll hear your name in passing, catch a glimpse of something that reminds them of you, and suddenly it will hit them like a weight they weren't prepared to carry. The realization: you are not coming back. You have moved on, and they have been left behind, because that's what they never saw coming. They thought they had time. They thought they could do whatever they wanted, take whatever they pleased, and you would always be there, waiting, forgiving, loving them despite it all. They never believed you'd actually leave. But you did. And now they have to live with that. They'll tell themselves stories, rewrite the past to make themselves feel better. You were too much. You changed. It was never that deep. They'll grasp for any excuse that keeps them from having to admit the truth. They were the ones who ruined it. They were the ones who let something irreplaceable slip through their fingers. And now they have to live in a world where you exist beyond them, where you wake up every morning and don't think about them, where you continue to grow, to succeed, to love without them. And that will drive them insane. Because the worst thing that can happen to someone who took you for granted is realizing too late that you were the best thing that ever happened to them. That's when the regret sets in. That's when they start to wonder if maybe, just maybe, they made a mistake. If maybe they should have tried harder, stayed longer, been better. But by then it won't matter, because you are already gone. Not just physically, not just emotionally, but truly, completely gone. And they will feel it every single day. See, the thing about people like them is that they don't miss you right away. They don't miss you when they still have options, when they still have distractions. They miss you when those distractions run dry. When they look around and realize that no one else loves them the way you did, that no one else forgives them the way you did, that no one else understands them the way you did, that's when it gets them. That's when they start searching for a way back in. But the door is locked. The bridge is burned. And all they are left with is the bitter truth that they had something rare, something real, something they will never, ever get back. And you won't even notice, because by then you will have built a life so full, so bright, so powerful, that their absence will feel like nothing more than a distant memory, a shadow of a past you have long outgrown, because you've finally learned what they never did. When you lose something valuable, you do everything in your power to keep it. And when you take it for granted, you lose it forever.